Other interesting political news, you have Christie claiming Trump is senile and can't remember who he's running against. So it is always fascinating when Christie is what's a nice way? If he's throwing, as youth might say, if he's throwing shade at anyone, it's highly, there's a lot of material to work with when it comes to the criticism of Christie, not just physically, and fiscally in terms of the policies, but it's one of those instances where a lot of the talking points that he's using, they're more traditional Democrat talking points. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who are Democrat-minded who may be in the Republican Party, but half the jokes about Chris Christie is that he's running on the wrong ticket. He should be running for the Democratic Party nominee. But nevertheless, now this is a brief video, and before the video, Christie says, quote, Donald Trump is out there giving rambling speeches and can barely remember who he's even running against half the time. It's the Vindication and Vengeance Tour. We can and must do better. Join us today, chrischristie.com. And there's a video, and for him it went moderately viral. Got 102,000 views, and interestingly enough, it did not get 0 likes. I had to rub my eyes and say, really? I thought it only got 2 likes. It's actually 2,000 likes. So that's not nothing for Chris Christie. That's pretty good for him. So without further ado, and again, of course, he's on CNN. We'll go ahead and play the clip.
The problem is that, he's out there, arguing his case to a limited audience. He's not spending any time on TV like I am with you answering questions. He's not doing town hall meetings. He goes out, he gives a 2-hour rambling speech where half the time he can't even remember who he's running against. Says he's running against Barack Obama. It's the Vindication and Vengeance Tour, where he's going to, go out and tell all the people that he's going to get to if he's president again. This is hardly inspiring stuff, and I think that's why you see the country so against a Trump-Biden rematch. The problem is,
again, I'm not sure if it's a bug or a feature, but they always have the video replay automatically on Twitter, or as 18 people call it, X. Now, he says, well, yeah, Trump thinks he's running against Obama. That's what a lot of people are speculating, because when you see the Biden interviews or Biden is speaking, a lot of people do not believe he has his cognitive abilities with him, and there's a lot of rumors that there are other people influencing his decisions, like Barack Obama. Obama famously said he would love to be president if he just, hang out somewhere in sweatpants and make the calls. So it's one of those instances where, do you honestly believe that Biden is making all of the calls right now in the White House? Or is it a myriad of variables, including his staff, maybe former people like Obama? I don't think Trump is saying that because he's senile. If you listen to Trump speak, he's pretty articulate. He is absolutely upset with a lot of people who screwed him over in the past, and a lot of people who stabbed him in the back. And a lot of the things that were conspiracy theories yesterday turned out to be fact today, such as the Russia dossier, the little P tape. There are a lot of things that, we were told is, absolutely not true. And then, truth be told, they were spying on Trump's campaign. We were told that was a conspiracy theory. But no, even as early as, 2015, the Obama administration was actually spying on his campaign. That was released data. We can all read about that now. So, my 3 cents, again, I don't think Trump is senile because he's saying he's running up against Barack Obama. But let me know in the comments, do you think that statement is intentional by Trump? He knows exactly what he's saying? Or do you think he's lost his marbles? Again, it'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, it'll be fascinating to see. There's a phenomenon in which I actually coined on the show, not to toot my own horn, but there is what we call the Chris Christie effect, which is a mathematical anomaly in which you get 0 positive responses. Which again, if you have hundreds of thousands of followers, you have 100,000 people seeing your videos, well, one would suppose you'd have someone in your family, your campaign staff, maybe a neighbor you were nice to once. Someone would say something nice about your original statement. But truth be told, on 2 separate occasions, we found phenomena in which no one said a positive response to Chris Christie to his original tweet and statement. Which again is a mathematical anomaly to say the least. The Chris Christie effect is all too real. So let's dive in, see if there's a repeat of that, or perhaps there are some positive responses and maybe he's going to turn around his campaign. Mathematically, I don't think it's possible. The odds are certainly against him, to say the least, but we shall dive in and find out. The first comment comes from someone by the name of Fred Johnson. Says, quote, Chris is running for a job at CNN, unquote. And interesting enough, he used 2 laughy emojis and the pregnant man emoji. which is, some people might say, all too accurate since Christie is a large man, to say the least. And that got 251 likes. Blame it on Brenda. She also says, quote, "That's literally you, Christie. Look in the mirror," unquote. Getting 113 likes. Scrolling down. Literally somebody by name of CM Dorsey says blub blub blub, and it's a picture of a very overweight child bathing in the kitchen sink. And again, I normally wouldn't mention something as silly as crash as that, but it got 101 likes. And that's one of the top responses. So definitely worth mentioning. Someone by the name of E. Lee Zimmerman says, quote, "Meanwhile, Chris Christie is struggling to fill up a senator's... Yeah, it's so awkward to say that, but I'm going to read it exactly as it's written. So he says, quote, "Meanwhile, while Chris Christie is struggling to fill up a senator's activity room," unquote, got 59 likes. Ronald Bishop says, quote, "Says the man on the revenge tour, ha ha ha," unquote, getting 36 likes. Bob says, quote, "Drop out, you have zero chance," getting 45 likes. Right Side of the Moon says, quote, "Chris, you have 7 days left on your campaign. Stop taking people's money," unquote, getting 39 likes. America's Brushfire says, quote, "He doesn't remember because you don't matter," unquote, getting 44 likes. Tally says, quote, "Tinfoil for your mind," and it's a picture of people with tinfoil hats. And it says, "Take off your hat, Christie," as well. It's getting 13 likes. Someone by the name of Eric says, quote, "2% says what?" unquote. And I got 89 likes. And, I mean, he says 2%. But in full transparency, Chris Christie does have, let's see, I know it fluctuates like a stock market, 2.7%. So you're selling him a little short. Well, he is short, so there's a pun there in and of itself. But yeah, that did get 89 likes. MAGA Country says, quote, "Live from Golden Corral Studios," and as someone, this might age me a little bit, but as someone throwing a boombox into someone's face, and it says STFU. Now, if you're the youth, a boombox is a fascinating contraption about the size of half this desk, in which it would actually play music for you, and you use something called a cassette, or if you're fortunate enough in later in time, a CD-ROM. How times have changed. Nevertheless, that got 96 likes. Garrett Kramer says, quote, "You're right where you belong on CNN," unquote, getting 11 likes. Renee Girdley says, quote, "Your jealousy is unbecoming as your waist," unquote, getting 55 likes. Someone did a picture of what looks like a melting blob of a man saying Chris Christie dropped out, and he's laying on the ground, getting 83 likes. Chris Nelson says, quote, "Chris Christie is making Trump look like a coward and wait, I have to do double take. This may be a positive response. Ladies and gentlemen, we may very well just found a positive response to Chris Christie's post. Mark this in history books. Let's reread it, just to be safe and sure. Again, Chris Nelson says, quote, "Chris Christie is making Trump look like a coward and a crybaby. That's pretty bad," unquote. And that got 27 likes. So we did find, I just do a little bit of scrolling to be sure, but there was a positive response to Chris Christie's tweet. So he did not achieve the Chris Christie effect. The phenomenon is not apt to this particular instance. Someone by the name of Newbie Colony says, quote, "Trump is fading fast. There's honestly a look to defeat in him. It'll be wild if he degrades so fast that Biden actually outlasts him," unquote, getting 12 likes, which, again, that's not what the numbers of the polls are saying, but that's a statement. Let's see here. Screw the Invasion says, quote, "You screwed us and got Obozo elected. You are a disgrace." And there's a picture of him, or Chris Christie, happily holding the hand of Barack Obama. And that got 19 likes. Someone by the name of I'm Fancy, though I don't know if this person gets an A+ marketing, I'd say D-, because they say they're fancy, and yet they don't have a picture of a top hat, a monocle, or a whiskey glass in their profile picture. Nevertheless, this alleged fancy person has a picture of Chris Christie, and it says in the font, "Nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room," unquote. I got 58 likes. Let's see here. Scrolling down, there's a lot of people just saying Trump 2024, getting between 5 and 6 likes. There's many of those statements. A lot of people asking if Chris Christie is inebriated or perhaps eating too much copious amounts of Krispy Kreme donuts, which it may, if with enough copious amounts of sugar, you may actually degrade the brain cells, and that might be a thing. Further science is necessary. Let's see here. A lot of people calling him a clown. So, as the youth would say, he was visually ratioed. And again, I can't but wonder, is Chris Christie running for a cabinet position on the Biden campaign? Because at this point, maybe DeSantis will like Chris Christie, because Chris Christie, he's focusing a lot of his energy attacking Trump. That's how he got to 3%, or near 3% in the polls, is that there are people in the Republican Party, they'll never vote for Trump. They want the never Trumpers. Now, I don't think that will actually get the Republican nominee, because I think the greatest percentage in the Republican Party would vote for Trump, and that's what these preliminary polls are showing. So, again, let me know in the comments, what do you think Chris Christie's real plan is? And if you think he'll be able to recover this, or maybe he'll get a cabinet position somewhere, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Don't forget to take the time to really write a couple good comments. In terms of the feedback, is greatly appreciated, even if it's harsh. I always say, even if it's a harsh critique, that's how you grow the most. Also, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you can click that button, I would especially appreciate it. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.